Special good afternoon to the esteemed political leader, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, executive of the UNC, and friends, candidate for Arangwes, St. Joseph, Mr. Devnish Maharaj, and other candidates, distinguished guests, former president of the PSA, Mr. Leroy Batiste, my fellow comrades in the labor movement, and the PSA. Comrades, I had a speech prepared for this evening, but I had to set that speech aside to address a matter of concern. Because I've observed that when the red among the platform, they like to tell you lies. They like to put up smoke screens because they're trying to cover their truth. And let me tell you what their truth is. Because I heard Keith on a platform discussing WASA and attempting to sell a dream to the population that is far from the truth, to turn you away from what they have done. Let me tell you what the truth is. The truth is the PNM has developed a cabinet subcommittee report on the Water and Sewage Authority. That cabinet subcommittee report says that the only solution to the issues plaguing the Water and Sewage Authority is the incremental disillusion of WASA. Comrades, that means every single worker will be terminated, dismissed, fired, sent home. Yet another group of workers on the breadline, another feather in the cap, one more company off of their checklist, their hit list, you might want to call it. Another 5,000 families destroyed at the hands of the PNM. Another 5,000 families sent into poverty at the hands of the PNM. Another 5,000 families facing repossession of their homes and vehicles at the hands of the PNM. Brothers and sisters, another 5,000 families wondering where the next meal will come from, where they're getting food to put on the table. Another 5,000 families in the queue for food cards from the government that they will never see. Another 5,000 families unable to pay for higher education for their children. Another 5,000 victims to the PNM brutality of workers. But let me remind you, if you forgot, in 2012, WASA was deemed the best performing institution in the Caribbean by the IDB. Don't chant yet, because who was in office in 2012? In 2014, the Moripol deemed WASA to be the most improved agency. Who was in office then? Four memoranda signed between WASA and PSA in 2011 and 2013 aimed at restructuring WASA, aimed at appointing workers, aimed at taking care of pensioners. Who was in office then? My brothers and sisters, There is a difference when the UNC say restructuring from when the PNM says restructuring. For the UNC, restructure is used to improve service that includes workers. Under the PNM, restructure is used as a mechanism to destroy lives and remove good-paying jobs, permanent jobs, to turn them into contract and temporary jobs. The PNM restructured the Ministry of Housing to HDC. Have you seen any improvement in the delivery of housing? They restructured the Ministry of Health to the regional health authorities. Have you seen any improvement in the health care? These entities still lack the resources they require to carry out their function, while the population suffers and workers too suffer. They are attacking HDC workers, asking permanent workers to resign from their HDC job to get a job in one of the 3 new companies they have formed. They are telling contract workers who have served the HDC for 10, 15, 20 years to leave your job to get a job over in the new companies. Forget about your past service. We must not overlook those things. Workers of the Board of Inland Revenue, Customs and Excise Division, they have kept those agencies understaffed, under-resourced, and then they turn around and say to the population that the workers are the reason why you take long to receive your packages. They refuse to tell you that they have failed to fill the vacancies in those entities. Comrades, for persons presently lining up to pay property tax, who has been collecting that? Not the very same workers of the Board of Inland Revenue? And they have said to the population that they need the TTRA to deal with the shortfall in tax collection, but the very same workers are now collecting the very same tax. Brothers and sisters, the PNM has suffered workers long enough. Workers have developed anxiety and depression over the past 10 years under the PNM government, not knowing when the day will come when you have to say to your family, I no longer have a job, and the extra lessons, the swimming classes, I can no longer afford. That is what workers have faced over the past 10 years, not knowing how they would provide for their families if they were to lose their jobs. Being rejected by financial institutions, not wanting to facilitate workers because of what the PNM has placed in the public domain about the workers. We will not forget what they have done. We will not forget how they have suffered workers. We will not forget how they have abused workers, threatened and took away the jobs without a care for how they would take care of their families. We will not forget 001 as the first offer to public officers, 2% over 6 years. We will not forget that. We will not overlook or forget that you have said you cannot afford more than 4%, but you miraculously found 5% for another period and 47% for yourselves. We will not forget that you refused to consolidate COLA. We will not overlook your attempt to rob pensioners of their back pay and buy that out by offering $4,000. We will not overlook the fact that you have appealed the court ruling that your appointed judge cannot turn 2 3-year periods into 2 5-year periods. We will not overlook the fact that you have refused to provide BIR and customs workers with information concerning their futures. We will not forget that you have refused to pay customs workers their overtime at the correct rates. We will not forget that for the last 5 years, you have refused to pay NIB workers their increase for the period 2014 to 2016. We will not forget that you have refused to settle negotiations for NIBDEC workers. On April 28th, we will show the PNM how far from cotton picking we are. We shall not forget the evil that is the PNM. The PNM have tried to make workers into the working poor. The PNM have tried to enslave workers. The PNM has boldly told us on their various platforms that they have nothing to offer workers. The PNM has mocked us. The PNM has assured us that if they pay us more, they will take our jobs. They have told us in no uncertain terms that they cannot afford the money to pay us. Well, if they don't know, the UNC knows. My brothers and sisters, the UNC has told us how they will do it. Let us now remove an oppressive government from office and put into office one that cares about workers. On April 28th, let's send a clear message. The voice of labor matters. Workers' lives matters. Yellow is the code.